So hello everyone. Yeah. Hi once again to everyone, and we're pretty much continuing the test number. I think test number four, and this time it's going to be passage two, and it's about bringing back the big cat. And I think straightforward. Once I think you can see that it's basically about it's like a opinion based, like argumentative. It's like when the author actually reads a book and comes up with his own ideas. I'm really there you go. Yeah, I just that's what I thought. Summary completion. Most of the time when you see there's it's an argumentative or some sort of a discursive passage that you will 100% find um summary completion questions. Yes. So, anyways, we have multiple choice questions. They follow the order. This summary completion, they sometimes follow the order, but not necessarily always. But however, I think this somehow comes. These four questions, yes, no, no, given questions, they come all the way. Of course, they could follow the order as well. However, I suppose that there would be many advantages of introducing the links to Britain, links, rewilding links, blah blah blah, but I think it will come somewhere from the middle. All right, anyways, let's just get started, shall we? All right, let's just navigate back to the top area. What did the 2006 discovery of the animal bone reveal about the links? So this is the first thing, 2006, and I think I'm gonna find 2006 as well. So what else? All right. There's a poem written around 509 to 596 AD, which describes hunting a mystery animal called a lewin, I guess. But what was it? Nothing seemed to fit until 2006, when an animal bone dating from around the same period was found in the Kinsey Cave in northern England. Until this discovery, the lynx, a large spotted cat with tasseled ears, was presumed to have died out in Britain at least 6,000 years ago. Okay, before the inhabitants of these islands took up farming. But the 2006 find, okay, together with three others in Yorkshire and Scotland, is compelling evidence, or strong evidence, that the lynx and the mysterious Lewin were in fact one and the same animal. If this is so, it would bring forward the tassel-eared cat's estimated extinction date by roughly 5,000 years. So, what did the 2006 discovery of the animal bone reveal about the lynx? Its physical appearance was very distinctive. No, it was not distinctive, however, I think, because it does not say the distinctive. Distinctive kind of here it refers that it is kind of different from each other, but here it says Lewin and links they are one and the same animal. So yeah, the option A is not correct. Its extinction was linked to the spread of farming. No, nothing about that. It vanished from Britain several thousand years ago, and it survived in Britain longer than we previously thought. Okay, so the word it survived in Britain longer than was previously thought. I however think that is the answer. The word find is the same as discovery, and bring forward means to move to an earlier time or date. Of course, like to move to an earlier time uh and date. However, yeah, is that correct? So yeah, it can be understood that after this discovery that scientists had enough proof to say that the extinction of the lynx had happened much later than the previously thought, because like the Yorkshire in Scotland is compelling evidence. There's compelling evidence. Maybe there's a very strong evidence. There's a strong proof that they actually vanished not 6,000 years, but 5,000 years ago. So I think that's paragraph. I mean, the answer D. What point does the writer make about large predators in the third paragraph? So what does the writer suggest about British conservation in the fourth paragraph? Protecting large areas of the sea from commercial fishing would result in protecting large areas, okay? And then according to the author, what distinguishes rewilding from other environmental campaigns? So rewilding from other environmental campaigns. Okay, anyway. However, so we have the third paragraph. However, this is not quite let me actually see that there would be many advantages to introducing the links to Britain. While there's no evidence that the links has ever put something in danger, it would reduce the numbers of certain so reduce something so whose population have increased enormously in recent decades. In this kinds of questions, this is pretty much a summary completion. You need logic, you plead, plus you need to understand basic grammar. On top of that, you also have to understand that what was that thing? Yeah, I think that's pretty much the same. I think in terms of grammar, you have to understand that there's an adjective plus noun things. They just try to paraphrase it by putting some adjectives with the noun. So yeah, but also you need logic. For example, you cannot say trees. For example, while there's no evidence that Lynx has ever put trees in danger. No, you cannot say that. So you just pretty much need logic to answer that. Anyways, Britain uh, could become the first European country to reintroduce the lynx. Okay. However, this is not quite the last glimpse of the animal in British culture. A ninth century stone uh, crossed from the Isle of Wight shows alongside the deer, boar, and aurochs pursued by a mounted hunter, a speckled cat with tasseled ears. Let me actually, we're not were it not for the animal's backside having worn away with time, we could have been certain as the lynx's stubby tail is unmistakable. But even without this key feature, it's hard to see what else the creature could have been. The lynx is now becoming the totemic animal of a movement that is transforming British environmentalism, rewilding. There we go. Rewilding means the mass restoration of damaged ecosystem. It involves letting trees return to places that have been denuded, removed. I mean, not removed, but kind of destroyed. Allowing parts of the seabed to recover from trawling and dredging, permitting rivers to flow freely again. Above all, it means bringing back missing species. One of the most striking findings of modern ecology is that ecosystem without large predators behave in completely different ways. Okay, from those that retain them. Some of them drive dynamic processes that resonate through the whole food chain, creating niches for hundreds of species that might otherwise struggle to survive. The killers turn out to be bringers of life. Yeah, the killers turned out to be bringers of life. What is that? Do we have anything in terms of so this is the third paragraph. What point does the writer make about the large predators in the third paragraph? What does it make? Um so rewilding, blah blah blah. Bringing back missing species. One of the most striking findings of modern ecology is the ecosystem, blah blah blah. Some of them drive dynamic processes. What does the writer suggest about no? What point does the writer make about large predators in the third paragraph? Third paragraph. Okay, so like, is it? I don't really necessarily find about third paragraph here. I'm just really confused. Um, so what does it say? Some of them drive dynamic processes that resonate through the whole food chain, creating niches for hundreds of species that might otherwise struggle to survive. Okay, interesting. I think I also found one thing. So the it's like kill. I think let me actually say it. Discovery means find, and the predators means what is predators here? Do we have predators? The killers turn out to be bringers for life. Killers. Yeah, there you go. Killers. Yeah. And so what? Resonate through the whole food chain, creating niches for hundreds of species that might otherwise struggle to survive. Their presence can increase biodiversity. Yes, actually, they can. Modern ecologies and ecosystems without large predators behave in completely different ways from those that retain them. Some of them drive dynamic processes that resonate through the whole food chain, creating niches for hundreds of species that might otherwise struggle to survive. Okay, so that's basically without large predators, ecosystem will have a hard time to survive. And that's pretty much what I think. They may cause damage. No, their behavior can alter according to the environment. I mean, it kind of partially says something about that because um, it, uh, it says modern ecologies that ecosystem without large predators behave in completely different ways, but it says that their behavior can alter according to the environment. No, it's not it's not that the predator changes its behavior, it's about the ecology changes. It's not the predator. They should be reintroduced only to areas where they were native. No, nothing about that as well. Fourth paragraph. Such findings present a big challenge to British conservation, which has often selected arbitrary assemblages. Assemblages? What is that? Something new. Of plants and animals and sod at great effort and expense. To prevent them from changing, that's it. It has tried to preserve the living world as if it were a jar of pickles, letting nothing in and nothing out, keeping nature in a state of arrested development. But ecosystems are not merely collections of species, okay? I want to take that. They are also the dynamic and ever-shifting relationship between them, and this dynamism often depends on large predators. Interesting find. What does the writer suggest about a British conservation about in the fourth paragraph? Okay. It has failed to achieve its aims. It is beginning to change direction. It has taken a misguided approach. I think it has taken a misguided approach, didn't it? I somehow believe that's that. Try to preserve the living world as if it were a jar of pickle, letting nothing in and nothing out, keeping nature in a state of arrested development. It can be understood that they wanted to keep everything in a static state, like it was. They didn't want to change without developing or failing to understand that ecosystems are they're saying are not merely collections of species. They are also the dynamic and ever shifting relationship between them. So ever shifting means continuously changing and developing. So what is that? So the idea of always keeping everything the same is not plausible or possible, you know. So they're not merely collections of species, they're also dynamic and ever shifting relation between them, and this dynamism often depends on large predators. So yeah, it has taken a misguided approach, which has often selected arbitrary assumptions of plants and animals and a great effort and expense to prevent them from changing. It has tried to preserve the living world as with blah blah blah, but there we go. So let's do the British conservation. They wanted to keep everything the same without things changing. So and then which turned out to be a misguide. I mean, misconception. They just chose the wrong approach. Yeah. Anyways, protecting large areas of the sea from commercial fishing would result in okay. It's at sea the potential is even greater by protecting large areas from commercial fishing. We could once more see what 18th century Latin literature described: vast shoals of fish being chased by fin and sperm whales within sight of the English shore. This policy would also greatly boost catches in the surrounding area seas. The fishing industry insistence on scoring every inch of seabed, leaving no breeding reserves, could not be more damaging to its own interest. Oh my god, that is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Um, so at the sea, potential is even greater. By protecting large areas from commercial fishing, we could once more see what 18th century literature describes. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Protecting a large area of the sea not only benefits the ecosystem, it also benefits the fishing industry, whose could not be more damaging to its own interest. So an alternative would be to protect marine and turn to I don't know what to do. What is it saying? Practical benefits for fishing industry, some short-term losses, no widespread, nothing. I think that's pretty much practical benefits. This policy would also greatly boost catches in the surrounding areas. The fishing industry insistence on scoring every inch of seabed, leaving in no breeding reserves, could not be more damaging to its own interest. That means, of course, it damages a lot, and there's nothing more to say to compare with. Certain changes to the techniques, no, nothing about that. Widespread opposition, no. Short-term losses in the fishing industry, no. Actually, it actually talks about the potential sides for the fishing industry. So yeah, pretty much A. According to the author, what distinguishes rewilding from other environmental campaigns? You're a very interesting question, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. So let's see what else. Rewilding is a rare example of an environmental movement in which campaigners articulate that they are for rather than only what they are against. One of the reasons why the enthusiasm for rewilding is spreading so quickly in Britain is that it helps to create a more inspiring vision than the green movements usual promise. follow us, and the world would be slightly less awful, and I mean, then it would otherwise have been. A really interesting quote. Rewilding is a rare example of an environmental movement, meaning, um, and what? Meaning it is different from other campaigns. Okay, so what? What? Create a more inspiring vision. Uh, Campaigners articulate what they are. So, like, I think its objective is more achievable. Is it? No. Its supporters are more articulate. Its positive message is more appealing, inspiring. Let's do that actually. That's what I think, Appealing. Okay. Appealing means inspiring. Inspiring. What else? What else do we have? What else? Um Positive messages. Okay, we have positive messages as well. If there's positive messages. Positive messages we have as what? More inspiring vision. There you go. Pretty simple, I guess. So what is that? D. Okay, we have got D as the answer for us. Now, summer completion. I hate summer completion. Not gonna lie, guys. Not gonna lie, guys. Now, however, we got links. So there will be many advantages of reintroducing the links to Britain. Okay, the links presents no threat to human beings. There's no known instance of one preying on people. It is a specialist predator of roe deer, a species that has exploded in Britain in recent decades, holding back by intense browsing attempts to reestablish forests. It will also winkle out sika deer, an exotic species that is almost impossible for human beings to control, as it hides in impenetrable plantations of young trees. The attempt to reintroduce this predator marries well with the aim of bringing forests back to parts of our bare and barren uplands. Okay. There would be many advantages to introducing the lynx to Britain. While there is no evidence that the lynx has ever put something in danger, it would reduce the numbers of certain something whose populations have increased enormously in the recent decades. A species that has exploded in recent decades? So no known instance. No known instance means what? No evidence. No evidence. No known instance. No known instance. What else have we got? Put something in danger, or there was also put something in danger means what? Um, put something in danger means preying on people. Preying on people. There we go. Okay, preying on people. So, but what was that to put something into? So the sentence could be paraphrased into what? What could it be paraphrased into? There's no evidence that the lynx has put people in danger, right? People? Do we have people? No, we don't have people. Or do we? Human? So there's no instance of one praying people. People, human. E. Come on, guys. Like just what would you say? Humans? Seriously? Okay. Remove that. Thank you. Also, numbers of certain something to reduce. To reduce what? As um, it would reduce the numbers of certain something. What would it reduce? The attempt to reintroduce this predator as well with the aim of blah blah blah. The links requires deep cover. Okay. Sheep, livestock, condition subsidies on a recent. So endangered would reduce the number of certain animals whose population have increased in recent decades. What increased in the recent decades? Do you have anything in recent decades? What is it? Where is it? Do we have anything? It is a specialist predator of roe deer, a species that has exploded in. Ah, okay. Sorry, look at that. I think I made a mistake here. So let me actually do the summary completion is because I tend to get confused here. What exploded? It would reduce the number of certain something whose populations have increased enormously. Increased enormously. We have increased enormously means uh species that has exploded in that has exploded, of course, in Britain. What is a species? We have species that in terms of uh a roar, specialist predator of roar is a wild animal. Okay, we have roar, wild animal. D. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna take that, highlight it, and take it away. There we go. Now, what else have we got? It would present only a minimal threat to something. Oh my God, this is one of those questions that I really don't like. The lynx requires deep cover. It would present only minimal threat to something provided these were kept away from lynx habitats. The lynx requires deep cover and as such presents little risk to sheep, farm animals. F. Nothing more to think about. Come on, guys. Minimal threat, little risk, minimal threat. Is it? Is it minimal threat? Why is this like this? Come on. Can we actually lower this down? Oh, okay. I think I made a mistake there. Why does it look like that? Okay, so we made something in oh there. Thank you. Return it. Okay. A minimal threat. Minimal threat. We have minimal threat means what? Little risk. All right. What else have we got? Furthermore, their introduction program would also link efficiently with initiatives to return native something to certain areas of the country. Native trees? Native trees, I guess? On a recent trip to Cairngorm Mountains, I heard that several conservationists suggest that the lynx could be reintroduced there within 20 years. If trees return to the bare hills elsewhere in Britain, the big cats could soon follow. Yes, trees. Trees, guys, it's trees. It's trees. There's nothing extraordinary about these proposals seen from the perspective of anywhere else in Europe. The lynx has now been reintroduced to the Jura Mountains, the Alps, the Vosges in eastern France, and the Harz Mountains in Germany, and has reestablished itself in many more places. The European population has tripled since 1970 to roughly 10,000, as with wolves, bears, beavers, boar, bison, moose, and many other species. The lynx has been able to spread as farming has left the hills and people discover that it is more lucrative to protect charismatic, blah, blah, blah. All right, that's not a given. Britain could become the first European something. Um, what? I heard several conservationists suggest that the lynx could be reintroduced there. So Britain could become the first European country to introduce lynx. I heard several conservationists suggest that the lynx could be reintroduced there within 20 years if trees return to the bare blah blah blah. There's nothing extraordinary. So the eighth paragraph heard several conservationists suggest the lynx could be reintroduced there within 20 years, meaning that the reintroduction of the lynx in Britain has not happened yet but because it talks about first it will come to the jurors something blah 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 in France. Okay, we have dogs here. Then Germany and blah blah blah. So like it's not the first. This was like so yeah, it was not pretty much introduced yet. So it's not that not given. It is just false. No, it's not Britain. It's other countries, France and Germany. The largest growth in European lynx population since 1970 has exceeded conservationist expectations. No, there's nothing in terms of expectation. Of course, it is mentioned in this paragraph. The European population has tripled since 1970, indicating that is the largest growth in the European lynx population since 1970. However, there's no information that whether the conservationists have any expectations. So I'm not going to waste my time and just say not given. Changes in agricultural practices have extended the habitat of the lynx in Europe. What? Change changes in agricultural practices. As with wolves, bears, blah 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 blah. The lynx has been able to spread. Farming has left the hills, and people discovered that it's more lucrative to protect charismatic wildlife than to hunt it, as tourists will pay for the chance to see it. Large-scale rewilding is happening almost everywhere except Britain. Interesting. The lynx has been able to spread as farming has left the hills. Farming, of course, agricultural practices has extended the habitat of the lynx in Europe. Really interesting word. Oh my God. Has have extended the habitat. The lynx has been able to spread as farming, extended the habitat of the lynx. Really interesting. I mean, this suggests that the land previously used for farming is now available for the lynx to inhabit, like to live. Uh, so the word spread has the same meaning as the word extend the habitat. Therefore, it can be deduced. I mean, concluded that I'm pretty much making a very concrete assumption saying that the changes in the agriculture have allowed the lynx to extend their habitat is a yes. So spread, extend the habitat. So I think that's a yes. Yes, I don't know. I'm really concerned about that. It has become apparent that species reintroduction has commercial advantages. Here, attitudes are just beginning to change. Conservation is starting to accept that the old preservation jar model is failing, even on its own terms. Already, projects such as Trees for Life in the Highlands provide a hint of what might be coming. An organization is being set up that will seek to catalyze the rewilding of land. Its aim to reintroduce that rears of ecosystems is hope. No, to protect wildlife, as tourists will pay for the chance to see it, is commercial. That's 100%. That's 100%. So like people discover that it's more lucrative to protect charismatic wildlife than to hunt it, as tourists will pay for the chance. So lucrative is a commercial advantage. So that is the answer. Yes. So there you go, guys. We finally finished this one. I just really horrible. I don't like actually reading discourse of things because come on, the author has nothing else to do but to read something that is nonsenseful. But anyway, come on. We have no other chance but to accept this matter. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to leave your comment in the comment section below, and I will come up with a very prompt answer to your request. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next episode.